All right, we're recording. Paula Hopwood, it's so
Yay!
exciting to have you online. Welcome to Suzie Sayz. And I'm even going to say it, the inaugural Suzie Sayz. I have been wanting to do this forever, so I'm so chuffed you're online, all the way from Canada.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here, and especially on this particular episode. So happy to be here with you, my friend. Very honored.
Paula, thank you. It's this has been something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and it's been nurtured over the last couple of years, just with me trying to find out where and what and where it, how it's going to go and go around the world. But having you as, well, first of all, you're my friend. So everybody, I'd like to introduce you to Paula Hopwood. Those of you who are listening in, those of you who are watching in. My name is Suzie Jenkins, and you've obviously landed up on this site or on this post or this particular Zoom meeting for a reason. So hang around for a while, because nothing is by mistake. And if you know who is on the other side of those headphones sitting in Canada, then you will definitely hang around. And I'm very, very honored to know Paula. I was thinking back of how I was looking at our Facebook profile. We actually only became Facebook friends in 2015. But I heard of you or knew of you when we did our John Maxwell. So you did 2011, the John Maxwell accreditation. I think I did January 2012. I studied 2011, came over to the States 2012. And that's when, for the next couple of years of all the John Maxwell followings, that's when I first, through Todd.
Yeah.
Common People, everybody started the web started building. But so we really only became friends on Facebook 2015, but we've been in that community and watching over each other. But I, without me saying, because I've got your list of what you do, I know what you do, I would like you to tell everyone, I'd like to know as well, is, in your words, Paula, who are you? Do you even know?
Well, that's deep.
Do you even know?
Totally.
Who are you now? Who is this woman who's blossomed into Paula?
I am love. There, we're done. No.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for signing in. That was episode 1. Like ditto. You can't own it all.
It's good to know who you are. I mean. Okay, so first of all, I didn't join the John Maxwell team till 2013. So I actually wasn't in the original group. I was very near the beginning. Yes. And so yeah, I did not know that's when we became friends. That must have been when we met, and I know our good friend Todd has brought us together too, and what an amazing man he is too, right?
Indeed,
met some really good people on that team, and it's been a big part of my journey, and that's I'm gonna speak to that here in a bit. But who am I? Who am I? Well, you know what? I am love. I mean, that's the short answer, right? But I know people want more. So obviously I like humor and laughter. So, but who am I? Well, I am somebody who has left behind a really negative lifestyle and climbed out of it and turned my whole life around. And now I go forward on my divine journey of love and of divine feminine flow, balancing energies within myself, helping people to leave behind what the world has taught them and to embrace their truth. And this drive is within me, and I've got to speak to that drive. This beating in my heart, this drive is within me to do it. I know that's why I came to Earth to do. And I know that's why I had to go through all that abuse and negativity, was to learn the lessons, was so that I would be able to relate to people. And, because somebody will have something happen to them, and I can totally relate to them, how they feel, or maybe even actually the physical thing that happened. And it just makes my heart sing to do this. When you have a gift, when you have a calling and you step into it. And so yeah, I'm love in action, you know, and along the way I've become all sorts of titles. People like titles and labels and stuff. And you know, I joke around that I used to have some pretty negative titles put on me and labels by people who were trying to abuse me and control me. But I exchanged them, and now I have these labels and titles. You know, I'm a certified empowerment facilitator, certified coach, certified empowerment mentor, best-selling author, past life regression hypnotherapist. You know, I'm all these things and more. I've got I'm a master's. I've got my master's in NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. And but to put that all in one big basket and put one label on me, put one thing on me, is that I'm a modern day shaman. And a shaman I am, because Suzie, you well know my intuitive gifts and have experienced them yourself. I am a deeply intuitive person, deeply spiritual, wide open to whatever my journey takes me to. And that's a big thing on this journey is to be wide open to that. So love in action is a good way to put it. You know,
I like that. I
divine
like
love.
that.
Yeah,
I'm even going to write that
love.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Paula Hopwood, love in action. Divine love.
So there's the really short version is love, and a little bit longer is love in action, and a little bit longer than that is what I just gave.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, so you know, with everything that's going on at the moment, so it is, what is the date today? I think it is the 28th or so. 28th of April 2020. So for those of you watching this, I'm based in Cape Town, South Africa. Paula is in Alberta in Canada. Do you have a little town?
I am 2 hours south of Calgary, Alberta, near Crow's Nest Pass. I'm right at the beginning of Crow's Nest Pass.
No, we've had this discussion. Hang on. We've had this discussion because my parents were married in Calgary, and my brother was born there. So it's obviously close in my family story. It's so bizarre that you're in that exact area. And we're going through the whole world has stopped. I mean, like, what is going on? Everybody's thinking, is this a movie? Like, is this for real? This whole closed life we've had where we have been blinded, as you can say, or asleep. And everyone's thinking, you know, people are talking about awakening. Like, what is this? I mean, what on earth are you talking about? But this is a process that happens over years and years and years. And when you do so-called awaken, which I know we're going to discuss, because I really want, Paula, you and I to get across to those who are watching what it actually is. What did you go through? Like, what symptoms? Like, is it a disease? Like, what happens to you? Because I didn't understand what was going on to me. I didn't come from an awakened family. Yes, there is, you know, all the lineage of intuition and the lineage of all the incredible gifts that have been sort of passed forward to me of coming from my feminine side, my masculine side, and what have you. But in this moment, when you awaken, is only when your true potential, your true gifts, your true why you're here suddenly awakens. Suddenly it is given to you like a business card. You say, like, who are you? That exact thing. You know, the last couple of weeks I've been thinking, who am I? Like, so many people on this planet now, who am I? Who am I? They had this identity of a job, a car, a relationship, and now, gosh, this whole world is giving us this environment, and all these people are awakening. What does it mean? I mean, Paula, when did your process of, like, really trying to catch what is going on in your life, when you thought, onto something here? Like, when did this all start with you?
Actually, before I answer that, I want to point something out. So I'm just going to do a little sidetrack here because you brought up the date, and there's something very special about today's date.
Oh,
I am not a numerologist, but I play with numbers. And it's April 28th today. And 28 in numerology, when you add the 8 and the 2, like the 2 and the 8, it means 10.
New
10
beginnings.
10 means new beginnings. Now, if you take the 4 from April and the 10, add them together, that's 5, which means change. And if you add 2020, so you add the 2 plus the 0 plus the 2 plus the 0 is 4. So you take the 5 from the April 28th, from the 4 and the 1, you know, broken down, and it's 5 plus 4 is 9, which is an ending of a cycle. So Suzie, today you're starting this, and it's a new beginning, and it's an ending of the cycle, not only for well, anybody who's watching, really. It's an ending of a cycle from before, because this is your first time doing this. You're starting something new. It's an ending of a cycle for me as well, and starting something new. And the world, right? The world. And I guess now I've got shivers going up and down me. I call them truth bumps. People call them goosebumps, and I call them truth bumps.
Truth bumps, I like that.
Yeah, they come at the right time. And you asked me about awakening, and I would have to say, when I first became aware of it, what it is for me is it's finding out what our truth is, and just going on that journey, because once you open yourself up, once you start to open up, you never close back down. You can try and run back, but you don't. And so mine started actually when I began to wake up and see that my whole life, I had been trying to perform for other people. I'd been trying to make other people happy. I was abused in different ways, starting from a very young age for different things. And basically programmed that I had to make people happy, right? And so it just wasn't working, and it took a near-death experience for me. First of all, I was suicidal. I tried many different ways to do it, and then on August 19th, 2000, I did it. And I happened to be with a group of people nearby, and the one guy was doing CPR on me as I started to float up. And as I floated up into the white light, I began to realize that what the white light is. And as I melded into it, as I merged into it, I knew what it was, and it's love. And that white light that's within all of us, that energy that's within all of us, is love. And so when I said that I'm love, I wasn't joking around, actually. I mean, we are love, you know?
Absolutely.
Right. And so when I went up, I dropped all my worldly cares. I knew that I wasn't made for abuse. I just knew all these truths, right? And not only about our souls and contracts and stuff, but I also knew things about me, and I saw my life in a different way. I saw how I had participated. I'm going to just say this, how I participated by my beliefs, by my thoughts, by putting other people's wants, needs before me, not holding my own safety first, not holding my own boundaries, not getting out of dangerous situations or from dangerous people. And it just all became so clear to me. And so the last thought I had as I was entering the white light was of my 2 sons. And boom, I was back in my body. And I was looking up at the guy that was doing CPR on me, and he was about ready to give up. And it was just incredible. I took a deep breath. And then when I came back to my life, if you will, I came back to my home, and my little boys, my youngest one was 4, and he said, "Mommy, why are you always mad? And if you're not mad, you're crying." And I said, I'm going to be the best mommy that you've ever had now. I'm so sorry that I haven't been there, and I'm going to turn my life around. And so I just started doing exactly opposite of everything I've ever done. And that was my great awakening, was because a thought popped into my head of what I allow will continue. And what I allow will continue, because what I had seen when I was in the white light was how I had participated, how I had listened when somebody called me stupid, worthless, nasty names, when they had used my body for their own power trips. I had participated. And even if I was against my will, me holding on to my thoughts was participating. Me holding on to those thoughts that I was stupid and worthless. Me holding on to my thoughts that it was my fault. Because I put those thoughts in there, I could get them out, right? It was a huge awakening for me. And my whole life I've been psychic. I mean, when I was a kid, I was the best one at finding Dad's keys when we would go on a car trip somewhere, and he always lost his keys. Nobody could find them. I always knew where they were, right? And so people would turn to me when they needed to know something, and then ridicule and laugh at me at other times, right? So I learned how to hide it. When I went through my great awakening, and that was in the year 2000, I was 32 years old. I began to see that that was a gift, right? That was a beautiful gift, my intuition, to not run from it and not hide from it. So then, boy, that just opened my box that I'd put myself in so wide. And I started like on a personal journey, on a spiritual journey, just awakening to all my truths, right? Not just a little bit here and there, man. It was like that movie, The Matrix?
I love it.
Yeah. It was like I came out of the Matrix, and it's just been a rocket ride ever since, and I'm still on it, and of course there's lots of stories coming out of that too. We could be here for 5 hours.
No, I know.
But that's how my awakening started, was just, thank God. I mean, honestly, thank God I was abused, because it's one of the biggest blessings in my life. So many lessons came out of that, right? So many opportunities.
It's unbelievable how many people I have met over the years, and I've been so privileged of the stories that have been shared to me with regards to those moments, the moment of awakening. Now the way I'm trying to put it in a story form for someone who doesn't understand an awakening, but whoever's listening to this is in the process of taking ownership of what is going from the inside out. And I always wondered how people used to say, what do you mean from the inside out? And I see myself as this physical form, but inside me is a person who only in the last few years have I met that person on the inside. Now that person is a soul, and this body of mine is merely a shell, even though it's compacted energy. Me, and energy is everything I see in energies. It's all pixels. We're all dots, and we're just compressed dots. We came down here as spirit to experience a human life, and we are in this human body. But before you awaken, you don't realize that you are almost, it's like two. It's like you in the body. You are just one when you're asleep. You're one whole thing. So your body is dictated by what is going on the inside of you. And that moment of realizing you're actually two separate things, that you have the steering wheel on the inside, and that you are in control of those thoughts and in control of the words, your actions, etc. But that's obviously down the line. I know in the beginning, like you, Paula, I didn't know what was going on with me with just knowing stuff. When you know that you know that you know. I mean, I just used to know stuff. I used to think of someone, and naturally phone calls would happen, letters would arrive. I would whatever it was brewing in me, but I never had teachers. So where does one go? So here now we're awakening in a society that didn't have a lot of, it was starting to open up, because these gifts that we've had have been so shunned over the years, and centuries, and taboo, especially the woman side of things. So here we have these incredible gifts that all line up when you line up with you. And learning about this, I think when I suddenly realized in with regards to the stories of energies, when you realize you are in an energetic field and you take ownership of that energetic field, and every single thing in that energetic field impacts your life like 100%. And that energetic field is made up of you as a body. There's a mind in there. There's a soul in there. Okay. Now, how do you work this on a conscious level? Like, you've got this all. Okay. Cool. What am I putting in it? Everything you eat is a frequency. Everything you eat is a frequency. What am I absorbing, as in hearing through my ears? What am I putting in my mouth? What am I smelling? Everything is a frequency to make. Even stuff you're putting on your skin, your toothpaste, anything that you use, everything creates a collective frequency of who you are. And everyone is different. But the one common thing we all do have, which we actually have is the love frequency. As you say, we are made up of love. Our original sparks in this planet, which I love drawing pictures with regards to that, is when everything first started, I just imagined this, whatever it was, ball of just, it was a ball of love, and it blew up. And every single one of us, our original DNA and what we are made up is of that frequency of love. I remember doing a medicine journey when I moved on to Cape Town nearly 4 years ago. I think it was the following year. It was about 2017. I think it was 2017. Must have been. I did a medicine journey, mushroom medicine journey, which I really got into my medicine journey when I moved on to Cape Town for my journeys. And I had the experience of the entire roof exploding with that. It was like, you know, when you stand on stage and you've got the spotlight on, the ringmaster, this came through one of my lights in the ceiling. And that was for about 5 hours. I was saturated in this frequency. I get it. I was shown exactly what that frequency is like. So I know what my reference point is. I know what to, if I land up quietly in my mind and going into, I know exactly what I'm heading to, because I have been shown it. So yes, 100%. And it's to take us back, getting closer and closer and closer to that frequency, because that frequency is what brings us our beautiful lives and health and wealth of mind and wealth of everything. But only in my awakening, you say yours, you like 20 years ago. No, you're not 20 years. I don't know what your age is, but I know in mine, it's only recently, even though my journey has been, especially the last 9 years, I've done a full cycle of really, I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know if I had depression. I didn't want to go near people. I picked up on everybody's energies. I just thought I would come back from a room and I would just have, I feel like I had everyone attached. I had to literally learn how to protect my energy field. And I didn't know what was going on with me, from mood swings to wanting to be completely a recluse and on my own, to being very selective of who I spend time with, because it literally physically affected me. And so the last 3 or 4 years have been a very interesting time with regards to, because you feel like you're going through, I think everything hormonal was going on with me as well. So when the universe says it's going to wake you up, it normally knocks you flat on your back. Mm-hmm. And says, right, now shut up. You basically sit down, lie down. Right, now we're going to give you a good doof, and it's time to now take action. And that's where people decide whether they are going to go forward or whether they're actually, I mean, what happens now, Paula? What happens now with all these people that are choosing to awaken into this amazing, incredible energy that we're going in? I mean, there's a whirlwind out there. People don't have a clue. But in saying that, look how much is on the internet now. and look how much people or teachers you can get. Whereas in the early days of trying to find out what was going on with you, like, you know, where did we go? And the last few years, I found beautiful people to follow like you, and it's not an easy journey, but clearly it's what we are all here for. I mean, nobody escapes this. Well, they do, but they come back.
Yeah, it's all about the unconditional love, right? It's all about the pure love. And it's interesting because you talked about two separate, like the spirit and the body, right? And part of the awakening process is realizing that, and this was big for me, and I see it in others too, is realizing that, so when we're in our body, something is happening to us physically in the 3D,
yes,
right? But when you start to awaken, you realize everything has happened for us. Like when I said the abuse was the best thing ever, because it happened for me, because all these lessons came out of it. The physical stuff may have happened to my body, but the spiritual, the emotional, the mental,
it all
came
that to you.
Lessons happened for me. Now,
Exactly.
I wrote down a couple notes while you were talking here that I wanted to touch on, because this all goes about the love frequency. And when you asked what's going to happen now, so an interesting thing. So 20 years ago is when my awakening started, my true awakening. Okay. But something else happened in that time. So in 2012, the world went through a big change. It wasn't just the end of the Mayan calendar. Lots of things happened. The Schumann resonance started going sky high. And for those of you who don't know what Schumann resonance is, it's the Earth's vibration. And you can look it up, SCHUMANN. And what it is normally it's at a power of about 7.8 or 8 hertz.
Yeah, it's the heart, it's the Earth's resting heart rate. Yeah.
And they did tests on people back in the late 60s, early 70s. They put them in a room. They raised it from 7.8 or 8 up to 9, and these people went crazy. Now, those people that were going crazy, what they were doing is they were knowing things. They were seeing past loved ones. They were remote viewing. Psychics, oracles, gifts like that were being awakened. So in 2012, what happened with the world is nobody was in charge of this. The world was in charge of this, planet Earth. And they've been monitoring this energy frequency, and had been at 7.8 hertz for years and years and years and years. 2012, it started to rise, and it spikes and spikes and spikes. And at different times, it goes high. Like, I forget what it was. I think it was at 153 when we were doing April 4th, when we were doing that worldwide meditation. The highest I've seen it go, I think, was 163. But it goes up and down. And so if 9 hertz had people awaken to their gifts, crazy. Can you imagine what over 100 hertz would do to somebody? Like, waken the whole planet. So here's what I want to say. You talked about your awakening happening a few years ago. Mine started 20 years ago, but in February 20th of 2019, I had something happen to me that started in me that I never expected. I never called in. I know my soul called it in, but I didn't see it coming. And that's called a Kundalini awakening. And that is a true divine awakening. Like, I'm telling you, it's called like a serpent going up your spine, and it's called the fires burning, because it actually feels like energy going like this, and it goes up your spine and wraps up like this because it's going up through your chakras, and it stops at each chakra and is vibrating like this to burn out programs that you were running. Okay. Now, for me, the initial burn lasted about 48 hours, is a little over 48 hours. And when I came out the other side, I didn't need safety anymore in my relationships. It changed every relationship I'd ever had with anyone except for my children. It even changed the relationship I had with my dog, because I didn't realize I'd been operating out of needing to feel safe in a relationship. I don't need that now. You know, I'm a different person now. That's been burned out of me. I had an attachment to safety that was blocking that free flowing love, basically, is what it is. This awakening process is getting us deeper and deeper into our true love, our true unconditional love. And so going through the Kundalini process has taught me about all these attachments. And I want to speak to something here. One thing, and you brought it up there about how the women, how this world has been run basically, and people have a view of women being held down and stuff. It's been very male dominated. And I want to speak to that because that's an attachment that people have, and I'm here to help them work through that too. There is divine feminine and divine masculine. There's wounded or dark feminine and wounded or dark masculine. And you are right. We have been run by a wounded dark masculine force, but not divine masculine. You see, because divine masculine has been right there with us, divine feminine being held down. Wounded feminine have done all sorts of things to you know, not further, let's say, not bring about positive change, not bring about love, you know. So it's not about he said, she said, or anything. It's about unconditional love. And we both have masculine and feminine in us. And if you're wondering what that is, if you're somebody who's watching this, basically masculine works out of the head and feminine works out of the heart. And so divine masculine and divine feminine, we need each other. We're in each other completely. And we need to honor and balance those energies to bring complete unconditional love to this world, right? Because when we don't operate out of our head and our heart, you know, in a true balance, then, well, unbalanced things can happen, right? So, you know, so it's like when you brought that up, and I forget your exact words, but I mean, yeah, you know what, we have been held down, but so have they. And I remember this, I have 3 boys and a girl. And I remember this, that I was like, my poor boys, they can't even express their emotions in this society. You know, I mean, they can't tap into their feminine traits, you know, men, you know, to be creative and stuff were looked at wussies, you know, and looked down on, and that's not love, right? No. So this time of awakening is awakening to truth within us, and that love, and raising that vibration and being that divine masculine, divine feminine that we are, and letting that love flow forward, and which is a divine feminine trait of flowing forward, right? But we need that masculine. It's actually your divine masculine that brought you here to watch this video, right? Logic brought you here. A call within you brought you here. And whatever's going on, like the creative emotional side, is the feminine, allowing this to flow forward, allowing that love to flow forward. So thanks for bringing that up.
Oh, it's a pleasure. You know, it's so interesting, these discussions and the on unconditional love, because the frequency of love is so powerful. And in our old story, and I love this now, because it's like, you know, when people used to put like pre-World War I or pre-World War II or pre-whatever, well, now it's pre and post COVID or whatever. So, you know, because it is such an old life, it's such an old, everything in our lives now, by choice gets to change in with the rest of the world changing. So it's so much easier when you do it as a collective. And how many years did we go through our journeys now? Like you, I mean, it was a process. It was a process of trying to understand me and of myself, blah blah blah, over the years. But my true awakening, funny enough, I even got a date. It was the 27th of January last year, when I didn't hit rock bottom. I'd hit rock bottom the year before, but I remember, because I was so aware of the frequency, I was so aware of what my thoughts were like. I was so trained in my alignment and really in my lesson, rather than it now it flows, of holding my thought pattern in the positive. And literally at a moment of crisis, this cog went. And funny enough, you know, we all have our stories that we come onto this earth to experience. And we have a number of things, not one thing in particular. You obviously chose, Paula, the abuse route as part of your story, along with other things. And funny enough, mine was my relationship, other than my relationship with men and relationships I've had with my marriage, etc. My main one actually was my relationship with money, which so many people have. And that frequency, when I had to learn that everything is frequency, and when I started breaking it down and actually studying it myself in the scientific format, because the words were too big for me. I wanted the feeling. The feeling of love is very different to the word love. The feeling of unconditional love. I mean, you have to feel these things. So I went into a feeling story. I like bottled all these feelings, from all the fear-based ones and to all the love-based ones, bottled them, from the joy to the fun to the unconditional love. I can recap any memory of that vibration. I can tap into it, because I took myself into the vibrations of them as I experienced that particular thing. I thought, this is like the most fun I've ever had, and I'd like lock into the fun frequency. So the love frequency, when you being the most powerful frequency, when you really do make a choice, you make a decision. Like, I literally went down to the beach, I got a stick and I drew a line in the sand. It's the first time I actually understood the meaning of draw a line in the sand. Like, I really got it. And so I drew a line in the sand. It was like old story, new story, but it wasn't even a story. My frequency had shifted. I had made a decision that no more. It wasn't even what I was not doing. I'm going to be very careful of my words here, because I'm very mindful of my words. I started focusing on the do as opposed to the not. And coming into this whole new frequency set of us all, the frequencies changing and coming into today's world and in this moment, is to face forward. Really face forward, because you're creating bubbles. We're creating bubbles out of our mouths that are manifesting. And I know we spoke about this the other day, of standing on the edge of a cliff. There's that lovely image that does with all the angels standing on the edge of a cliff, or somebody leaping off it. And you're literally I am standing on the edge of the cliff, manifesting and creating my blank canvas in front of me, from having trained myself and having learned, first of all, what it was all about, and understanding the power of those vibrations, because we are all vibration. And the moment I started understanding it, like really getting it, and waking up to this all, really has been the last year, and it's been getting even bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, even more this year. It's just like I don't even recognize myself sorry, I'm even throwing my phone around. I don't even recognize myself on a daily basis. So the depressing days and all of that frequency, old frequency, like gone, like Paula, gone. It doesn't even exist anymore. And so I know if anyone else is, or I know whoever's listening onto this is, you have to do the work. You know, when people say do the work, like read a book, I really battled to read a book on personal development when I still wanted to go further and to understand the vibration of it. So when you understand the vibration of it, then all books make sense, all sayings make sense. So in life now, and with everyone awakening, it's like you have to take a step back to take a step forward, in fact, leap forward.
Mm-hmm.
And to take that step back and put yourself back in your body, where you are not having life, as you say, happen to you. Put yourself in here and say, right now, I'm in the steering wheel. Like you can actually picture yourself going back in. I picture behind my eyeballs. I really do. I'm in the steering wheel. I'm in the steering wheel with the slightest little zit of me. Anything I give off. And that is how, you can really get really good at manifesting quite a magical life. But it's to know not to panic in the beginning. And in the beginning, there isn't a beginning. Everyone's going through it. Everyone, every single being on this planet in this moment is or everyone's vibrating. And they're either on a higher and a lower, and the whole world and so when that saying that says your vibe attracts your tribe, it literally does, because you're in the same frequency. And so now being open to receiving love-based frequency, because I'm love-based from the inside. This is really where the magic of awakening happens, and the like-minded, your teachers, anything that's in your frequency that you know that you're a magnet to. Miraculously, Paula, really, it is just the most beautiful place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, we really do create our own reality. And I saw that when I was up in the white light there 20 years ago, right? And here's the thing, right now, where it's April 28th, 2020, we've got this virus around the world. There's, I'm not going to go into my beliefs about it and stuff, but everyone has a belief about it. And everybody's handling it in the own way that they need to handle it, right? Everybody's creating their own reality. And some are creating it out of fear. Some are creating it, out of tolerance. Some are creating it out of frustration. Some are creating it out of love. Personally, I'm choosing to see the love in it all. I'm choosing to see the people that are stepping forward and helping others. I'm choosing to see the people that are getting on Zoom calls and stretching their businesses, their personal life. This morning, as I was getting ready for my day, a friend of mine that I haven't seen her on a video in a long time, she was just on having coffee with everyone. Jump on, tell me about your day. She's a hairdresser that misses talking with people.
Sure.
So it was a beautiful way to start my day. As I was brushing my teeth and getting dressed, was just listening to her. Here, I've got my buddy in the bathroom with me.
You gotta do that. You gotta do that.
So I choose to see the love in that. And even yourself, Suzie, like starting this now is when you basically, the firing of the gun, if you will, to start this series.
Absolutely.
It's just everything is coming out of us, and I choose to see it out of love. I'm going to quote Wayne Dyer, but not really, because I always butcher this quote. But it's the general thought of it, okay? Because I don't actually know the exact words, which is silly, because I heard him say it several times live, right? So, but anyways, basically what he showed me about this is that people can expect or be living with jealousy and fear and anger in their life, and that's all they see in the world is things to be jealous of, things to be fearful of, things to be angry at. Or there's people out there that just want to see the peace and the joy and the love in every situation, and that's all they see in the world is peace and joy and things to love, experience. They experience love. But here's the thing, it's the same world, right?
Exactly.
So we create our reality. We manifest what happens in our life. When I said what I allow will continue, those words that pop into my head were literally heaven sent. They're divine words that popped into my head. What I allow will continue is
what I allow will continue. Totally
changed my life. It became a mantra, if you will, of healing, of restoring my energy. It became how I how I look at things, right? And even now, like if there's somebody that comes in and they don't, I don't know, they want to disrespect my energy or something, it's still what I allow to continue. Well, do I want that in my life, or I don't participate?
100%.
It's
And
all
which
about
way do you face?
experiencing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. I mean, you can face, as you say, the two scales, the love and the fear. But the old story pre-COVID is the fear-based. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, the entire world is recreating, and we have choices now to face forward, over the cliff,
Mm-hmm.
or behind.
It's like
And
doing a switch. Yes.
yeah, and basically it's like getting an education, saying, guys, if you face forward, you know, whatever you're saying, you can be, you can do, you can, like really it is. And it's just the convincing of the timeline to catch up, because I think the biggest thing, Paula, that over the last couple of years, and you know, learning this whole process, last year was a big year for me of really working on my self-love and finding out that, and it was a very big relationship that I had that cracked that open, that I then really took, when I met Suzie, I really took care of how I spoke to myself. You know, I caught myself, like you, I caught myself how I spoke to myself. I was like, my God, you're kidding me. I mean, it was, I did a big medicine journey, funny enough, for my 50th birthday in I'm trying to think now, 2017. It must be, because so giving my age away, totally, I own it. And I had this friend of mine had crocheted me this beautiful little like shawl thing, and everything had a knot. Every knot, I spent hours and hours busy playing with the knot, was a different conversation or something that I was shown of how badly I spoke to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest gift of this awakening that I have had is awareness. And
Yes.
if you're watching this, everyone, it's to have an awareness of how you are acting or how you are being in this world is the biggest gift that you can ever be given. And then take it, embrace it, and act upon it, or sit and watch. Because I learned in that awareness, I've learned how I did speak to myself, and now how I do speak to myself. How I acted around other people to try and please them, people pleaser, like you, Paula. Okay. I've had to take this of what I spoke, of what I chose to listen to, of how I chose to react was massive. And I've in my coaching that I do, it's all these little steps of how you can have such an awareness of the steps of what you're doing in naturally in a day. Gratitude. If gratitude is your medicine in any of this at the moment, it's you flip and harness it onto you, because it is that gratitude. But there's no point in being grateful if you haven't got feeling behind it. So right now, all these teachers are arriving that are able to teach everyone and say it's okay. So when I stopped beating myself up about how I spoke to myself, when I had an awareness of it, and then I wanted to hate myself because of the way I spoke to myself, you know, the same thing you say, stupid, and what are you doing, and shut up, and everything. And it was like, whoa, you know, it's me inside here. I'm talking to me. There's a person in there. And when I actually introduced myself to myself and that person inside, I was like, she became my friend. I was like, I am so sorry I spoke to you like this and speak to you. And now we are best friends. And occasionally we catch each other out of how we speak. But I have, instead of 1,000 voices, I have Suzie inside. And I'm able to have these and now start complimenting her and encouraging her. And, you know, it's not too long ago, I actually gave myself permission to be loved by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that frequency of love now is even bigger. And our journey of awakening, as I understand it, is we're never going to be perfect.
No.
And life is here to have fun. Apparently, we got the memo this year, or the world has got the memo this year of what is going on behind the scenes, is that we've been hoodwinked, we've had blinkers on. That wasn't the real world. We really are in a movie. I mean, it really is for real what's going on. And so how do we rewrite, or how do we write our new story from now on? And if you, in my story, what I've done is I've done all my steps and what have you, which obviously I now share with people, but I'm so consciously aware, Paula, of locking into that love frequency. So before I do anything, before I make a decision, before I have a conversation, before I even leave my room, my morning starts with, and that's one of my little exercises in the morning that I teach, is to wake up in the morning, that first thought. Do you know how many people roll over and grab their phone? That first thought. You have 17 seconds. In fact, I think Esther Hicks from Abraham Hicks even says it's gone down now. I think it's like even 15 seconds or 14 seconds, where you have a frequency, control of a frequency, of a thought as you wake up. And to 68 seconds, which is just over a minute, you don't have to pick up your phone quite yet. Over a minute to keep a high frequency, even if you're having a love attack with your pillow. Do something, anything. Love attack your pillow, love your pajamas, love your, you don't love your pajamas, but love your duvet. I mean, it's getting chilly here now. We're going into autumn and you're going into spring, but just appreciate in your immediate surroundings. You do not have to think further than your immediate vicinity to find a million and one things to be grateful for. And that's where I start my mornings.
I also find you don't even have to think when you're on this awakening journey. The biggest thing, because people are always like, they want details. They want, how do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? What do I say? What do I think? And I say to them, be okay. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to go on the journey. Give yourself permission to rest. Give yourself permission. You're right. Reaching for that phone in the morning is a distraction, right?
Total distraction.
First thing in the morning, just give yourself permission to just lay there and feel the abundance of that pillow that you love so much. Feel the love, feel the warmth of the bed, that you have a bed. Be grateful that you have a bed, or be grateful that you're woke up today. You know, like, just give yourself permission to feel whatever it is, to think whatever it is before you distract yourself. And it's interesting because I'm a sticky note fan, right? And I have sticky notes all over my wall here in front of my computer. And I have a sticky note right here on my computer, on my laptop, and I'm going to share it with you. And it says, because, it's even though it's on my laptop, it's kind of ratty and old. I should replace it. It says, I choose my journey. I am open, willing, ready. I choose my journey. And so I'm giving myself permission to be open, willing, and ready for wherever that takes me, whatever opportunity. And that's a big thing about awakening, is not to get wrapped up in the details, right? No. Just to allow it to flow, allow it to happen, right? And it will happen. It is happening. If you're watching
happening.
If you're watching this, it's happening, right?
So if it's happening, then Paula, why would my room is actually getting darker and darker. Oh, we're a bit mobile here. It's getting dark. I need to turn the light on. Paula, you are obviously, you are so gifted and you're so talented with what you do. So what are you actually, what are your services? What are your gifts? They're not even services, because, you know, I get it now as well with this be of service. You know, I never realized the power of coming into alignment and finding one's true purpose. I was always there.
Mm-hmm.
And aligning to that becomes a natural service to the world when it comes from the place of love and comes from your heart. When you just know that you know that you know that this is your path, and my path is taking such a different angle, and yet it's parallel to what I was. It's all just been so divinely delivered. Always trusted my path, always trusted my path. And so, I mean, you've got a full-on, this is what you do full-time now, and this is what you've been doing for years. You've followed your purpose. So what are the kind of people that you're helping, and especially with this awakening now, who's coming to you? Who's finding Paula?
Oh, my goodness. Lots of people. So basically what I do is I do help people to leave behind what the world has taught them and to embrace their truth. That's the basics of it, right? The people that are coming to me are definitely on a spiritual journey. I am a shaman. I am an oracle. I'm a psychic. Take me at my full strength with all of my trainings and all of my gifts, right? All my natural gifts. And so the cool thing is I actually have quite a few twin flame people coming to me. People
very big
who
at
are
the moment.
Yes. People wanting divine relationships, but not only with others, but with themselves. Like I spoke earlier about the divine masculine, divine feminine, right? So these are the people that are coming to me. Now, I have a lot of free content out there on Facebook and YouTube. I'm still getting my YouTube channel up and running. I've been more pouring into Facebook and some Instagram, but so there's a lot of free content out there on, leaving behind the old programming, the old ways, the old beliefs, how to come at things at a different angle, how to release, how to flow. And then I work with people in online coaching. I have an 8-week program that's fantastic and getting great results. I do one-on-one coaching and retreats, although retreats right now are kind of been shut down.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, because you get flown all over the world to go to retreats and things. Exciting. Yeah. We're going to have hours together. You and I have got
yes.
coming up.
Yes, I've got some in the plans, and I've just put them all on hold right now. And so some great collaborations. The whole
world is cleaning up for us.
Right. So,
exactly.
But in the meantime, I still support people online, and like I said, I'm always pumping out free content, and you can, if you go to paulahopwood.com, there's a free abundance meditation right there, right on the front page that you can sign up for and get. Actually, that one's funny because I should really go in and listen to that, because I made that several years ago. And It's the first time I ever recorded anything. And so I wasn't good with technology back then. But it's hilarious because some of the people that I work with, this one lady in particular, she put it best. She goes, it's an abundance meditation, right? And so it's beautiful. And I channeled it. And so it's truly a gift from divine. It's truly a gift from up above. And one of my clients put it best when she goes, I listen to that every night before I go to sleep because it helps me go to sleep.
That's so divine.
So use it in good health, right?
Yeah, or is it abundance of sleep?
Yeah, right. There's even on the tab on the website, there's even a little a master class on there. It's underneath the webinar tab, and I think it's like 45 minutes long or something. Oh. And I go over 3 sacred secrets that spiritual entrepreneurs use to create abundance on autopilot, right? Because it truly is. I'm sharing these what have become secrets, but they're not secrets.
No,
nothing's a secret. These things. We gunked ourselves up with all these programmings, these beliefs, these things have been handed down to us through TV, through news, through magazines, through well-meaning, maybe not well-meaning people in our life, right? School, everything, programming, right? And so it is my passion to help you get back to who you are, whoever that may be for you, right? And just to learn how to strip it away and keep going, because there's nothing more beautiful than seeing somebody walking in their true self and that glow coming off them. Hey, right? That glow is just amazing. So So yeah, I mean, if you want to check out any of that again, it's pretty easy.
No,
Paula Hopwood.
I'll put all the links. Well, and I'll put all the links below on the videos. PaulaHopwood.com. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Hopwood is Hopwood. I mean, I know you know that, Suzie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it
Yeah.
for people.
No, 100%. So I'll put all the links up as well. But yeah, Paula, I'm so grateful, and you're right. There are a lot of we'll see after lockdown, because lockdown now here it's being sort of softly open. So I don't know if we are on lockdown for indefinitely now, still for the next few months. So we'll see what happens. But yeah,
we started talking about the world, and look, my smudge just started going crazy. I don't know if you noticed that when we started. Sorry for interrupting, but it wasn't
funny.
It wasn't going hard until we started talking about the world and everything.
We're cleaning the world up. So I was just saying, when coming out of lockdown, we're going to be having a few more shiny, happier people. But yeah, look at you.
I know, it's just going. We need to smudge the whole world.
Oh my God.
We need to smudge. If somebody has limiting beliefs, if somebody has beliefs that they need to let go, we need to smudge them all out.
Everybody make sure you land up.
Everybody's getting a good smudge right now. If you don't know what smudging is, this is actually sage from this local area here. And smudging clears away negative energies. And it literally, like, you could be working on something, or maybe not. Maybe you're frustrated or something. I know I've been there. And I'll light a smudge, and it's been scientifically proven to remove negative ions, right? And it just does. It's just amazing.
I can't believe it, because it is also energy. You can see it in its smoke form. It's particles, and there's so much to talk about the energy side of things. But anyway, that's another whole conversation we'll have to have another time. I think we've got it. No, we're going to have tons more. But Paula, thank you. And it's so nice to know that people have got support systems out there. So with what you're doing, and on my side of things, I mean, I'm also like the coaching side of things, and on educating people on the energy side of things. When you actually can take an emotional wave and put it in a picture of energy, and you understand on an energetic level how you are wired and what you do and say and everything, the lights come on, and you are so much more aware of it, how you direct your life and who you are. There's smoking again.
My ancestors said, "Oh, this world just needs some smudging going on right now."
We'll do that.
It's funny because as soon as we acknowledge it, the smoke goes up. But when we're just talking,
when you know that it like comes across, doesn't like being ignored.
I know. I'm getting a good giggle over this one.
Don't worry, smudging. We have a sage. I promise you, we're sending you lots of love. How you know that? You're sending you a smudging all the way down to Cape Town.
Yeah.
Oh, Paula, it's been so divine. Thank you so much for your time. And it's very special to have such incredible people in my space, and I honor you with what everybody's doing now to serve and help others in this journey, because now it really is. It's the largest mass conscious awakening in the history of mankind.
Yes.
Like really, we are making history here. You are in the history books, guys. The children of the future their history books are not wars anymore. Their history books are from now on. 2020 is when the new world starts. So write yours properly, be conscious, be aware, get the teachers, get the guidance, get onto YouTube, start when, I love the saying, and I think it's all of us, when the student arrives, the teacher appears. And in my journey, I have just trusted it, I surrendered properly. So articles coming my way, clips coming my way, people that in front of me, books or what have you, I am a sponge for knowledge. It's like my brain has been activated, and it's all the things that I'm interested. Look at your smudging.
I
think
know,
it's got to get
be open to the journey, right? Choose the journey. Like my
Absolutely.
note says, I choose my journey. I'm open, willing, and ready.
I am open, willing, and ready. I got it. I got it. All right. You are
Yeah.
so incredible. Thank you very, very, very much, from a very full heart all the way down here in Cape Town. And thank you. Yeah, look
Thank
at it
you.
tapping away.
It's been going the whole time, right? And just barely. And it just, when we started talking about the world right then, just a little while ago, it started giving her. And then it started coming across the screen big time. I'm like, trying to see.
I'll blow it. Paula's going up in smoke. Last scene. You better. If you don't hear back from her.
I've been on Zoom calls and group calls before, and somebody would go, is something on fire in your room? And I'm like, no, it's just my smudge.
It is so
Anyways, thank you for having me. And I'm so honored that I was here for your first one, and so honored that we had this conversation. And I'm looking forward to so much more and seeing other conversations. So.
I know. I can't wait to. So I so look forward to having you back here again with our. Well, it'll always be something that is obviously appropriate for that moment. That is what Suzie Sayz. Is raw and real, and no glitz here. This is you, this is me, and these stories. People are real. People are really, like, it's a whole new world. Like, this movie's real, guys. Like, you can't fight it. You, as Paula says, you just got to go with the flow, not beat yourself up about it. That was my biggest take on it. Was I was like, oh my God, I'm going through this. Okay, how do we work together with me? And that's another whole conversation as well. Was just be kind to yourself. Whoever's listening, just be kind to yourself. It's okay. You too. We will survive if you choose to. But you're here for a reason, clearly. So follow Paula. Keep checking in on Suzie, and we will get through this without a doubt. It's so worth it. So worth it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paula. Have a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.